Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how we annotate text using Google Document Tools. There's a lot of different tools that Google has that can help us really understand writing, understand sources that might be tricky, and it's all right at our fingertips. So the first thing I'm going to do anytime that I annotate a text is I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to worry about anything else. If there's a word I don't know, I'm going to keep on trucking, keep moving past it. So I remember being dragged out, though I resisted by kicking and scratching wildly. In spite of myself, I was carried downstairs and tied fast in a chair. I cried aloud, shaking my head all the while until the cold blades of the scissors against my neck, and I heard one of them gnaw off my thick braids. Then I lost my spirit. Since the day I was taken from my mother, I had suffered extreme indignities. People had stared at me. I had been tossed about in the air like a wooden puppet, and now my long hair was shingled like a coward's. In my anguish, I moaned for my mother, but no one came to comfort me. And this is from School Days of an Indian Girl. Okay, now that I have read it once, I'm ready to go through and annotate it again. This time, I'm going to make mark of what's important, questions I might have, or words I don't know. And if anything else comes up, I'm going to make a note of that. So, again, I remember being dragged out, though I resisted by kicking and scratching wildly. This seems important to me, and the reason why is because it tells us how she reacted to the situation. History is all about the person. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to highlight it yellow because that's the main idea. It's something that's important. Now, I want to know why I marked it as yellow. So I'm going to come over here to comment. There's two ways that we can actually comment. We can click this and it will pull it up right there, or I can right click and comment is one of my tools. So this is important because it is telling us how she feels about what happened to her. And comment. Now I know what yellow means. In spite of myself, this is something that I don't quite understand, this word spite. So there's a really easy way to do this. The first thing is that I want to make sure that I identify this word. So I'm actually going to bold it and underline it. Now, if we right click, just like what we did to get a comment, if we right click, we get this tool, define. So let's define it. The desire to hurt, annoy, or offend somebody. I think he was saying it out of spite. Okay, so now I know that this word spite means to go against somebody. It's negative. So in spite of myself. Okay, so she didn't want to do this. I was carried downstairs and tied fast in a chair. So she was tied into a chair. That's an important thing, right? So we're going to highlight it again. And I already know what my yellow mark means, so I don't need to do another comment. I cried aloud, shaking my head all the while until I felt the cold blades of scissors against my neck and heard them gnaw off one of my thick braids. Okay, that's telling us what's happening. So absolutely, we need to do this. We need to mark it. Then I lost my spirit. I'm not quite sure what she means by this. This is kind of a question that I have. So I'm actually going to mark it in blue, and I'm going to comment my question. What does she mean by lost her spirit? My question might be answered. My question might not be answered by the time. And that's would be a key that if it's not answered, then I need to do some more research. Since the day I was taken from my mother, I had suffered extreme indignities. Indignity is another word that is quite challenging. So I'm going to highlight. I'm going to, oh, wrong one, sorry. I'm going to underline it. And I'm going to define it. So, treatment or circumstances that causes one to feel shame. Okay, so she suffered some shame. She felt bad. People had stared at me. I had been tossed about in the air like a wooden puppet, and now my long hair was shingled like a coward's. So she's really concerned about her long hair, and this has come up quite a few times, so I'm going to highlight it again. This is important. She's telling us it's important. In my anguish, I moaned for my mother, but no one came to comfort me. So this is how we annotate, and I'm going to be looking at annotating for your text often. Annotating is really important so we can make sure we understand what the source is saying. And when I go through to grade and look at your annotations, this is what I'm looking for. If you have any questions, please let me or Ms. Butts know. Thanks.